Welcome back to another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. I'm your host, Gary Malevsky, and the publisher of Cyber Defense Magazine. Sitting in my hot seat today is a really cool co-founder and co-CEO. It's Bassam Al-Khaldi of Axiad, AXIAD.com.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
What does Axiad do? I know it's something to do with the cloud and something to do with identity management, but it's very different and very innovative.
Yeah, Gary, thank you for having me on your channel today. And when we started Axiad, we really wanted to look at what is the current state of authentication in IAM and how can we improve it. There was a big shift to moving to the cloud in the last 10, 20 years, but we noticed that the first thing everyone out there was doing is trying to move everyone to mutualized environments, which inherently have their own security and their own risk. And even by migrating to the cloud, they were looking at migrating point products from one product to a cloud offering, another product to a cloud offering. And it just makes it more complex for the organization because now they have all these different cloud vendors, and now they have to integrate all of them, cloud to cloud, cloud to on-prem, hybrid. It becomes a daunting task. So what Axiad does, it really simplifies the whole process, kind of security and simplicity at the same time, which is really hard to achieve. But what we do, instead of having all these different products to help you achieve your identity and access management, now we have a single platform that's dedicated in a virtual private cloud and allows you to authenticate your users, your devices, your applications in a simple and secure way without sacrificing any security or usability at the same time, and trying to maintain the privacy aspect as much as possible.
So Bassam, do I still need my HID Corp ID and my PKI certs and maybe the mobile phone app and the VPN tunnel that I got like 5 different things to get my IAM working? Do I still need all those, or maybe even 7 different point products?
Great question, Gary. So today, if we look at what our organization is doing, and as you just mentioned, they will have a hardware security module to secure their keys to the kingdom. They will have an authentication service. They will have a PKI deployment. They will have audits and reports and compliance tools and products there. They will want, if they have a PKI and they want to deploy digital identity, they'll have some sort of credential management system, and I can go on and on. And now they have to deploy them, whether they're cloud or on-prem, they will have to deploy them, integrate them, manage them. So as I mentioned, it becomes quite a daunting task. A few months in, lots of consulting dollars. But what we do is we replace all these in that one single platform in a really simple and secure way. It's up and running in about 42, 43 minutes, and you can replace these 6 or 7 different products. Now, from an end user usability perspective, we don't believe there's a single silver bullet to address all your authentication needs. Why? Because you can have regular users, you can have privileged users, you can have device authentication, machine authentication, application authentication. So what we try to do is give the organization the capability to issue any type of credential in a very secure manner. What do I mean by that? That means behind the scenes, it's all based on best practice on PKI and FIDO and other aspects, open standards. But we make it so simple to the end user that for them, all they do is they click, point, click, and now I have a digital credential that works across the organization.
Do you have a self sign-on password recovery thing or something where, the IT don't have to keep dealing with the fact that now that they've set up the most secure way to identify someone, get them in, they lost their credentials or something happened?
That is the biggest risk that the organizations go through after they do a successful MFA or IAM project is exactly what you just mentioned. What happens if my credential gets locked, lost, damaged, stolen? If we're going to go and revert back to passwords, this becomes a new threat vector for hackers, because now what they want to do is lock the user out. Once the user is locked, that attempt to recovery or moving them back to a weak credential does not really help, or it negates the whole aspect of the project. So we solve that problem in 3 different ways. The first problem we solve, as you mentioned, we have a full self-service portal that the user can use any one of their other authenticators that we provide to securely authenticate to fix their other authenticator. That's one. But we also have to be realistic. Sometimes users might select just one authenticator. And if they have just one authenticator, then what happens? Does that mean I'm locked out? I can't log into the self-service portal because I cannot prove my identity. Then that's where we've introduced kind of My Circle. My Circle allows you to crowdsource help desk within your organization. What do I mean by that? That means not only can an individual contact help desk, but an individual can contact anybody that's authorized within the organization, a supervisor, a manager, a coworker. It depends on policy on who you will allow to do this or not. But now the process is extremely simple. So if we walk through scenario A, I'm a user, I have one credential, that credential is locked out. My only option is to go to help desk. But with Axiad, with my circle, if you have your supervisor, manager, coworker, you can just go to them, and that individual, let's say, is in marketing and not in IT, it doesn't matter because we have such a simple workflow process that manager or authorized individual will log in, they will take that credential, insert it into their machine, and then our system is smart enough to detect and look at what is wrong with that credential, how it needs to be resolved, and we'll walk them through a wizard step by step how to do it with literally zero training. It's very straightforward, very intuitive, very simple.
So I can finally invite you to my inner circle.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we call it Circle.
Nice.
And last but not least, if we look at the state of the affairs today with the pandemic and with people being remote almost 100% of the time, call and help desk is not very helpful if they have to ship me something or give me, that doesn't help me. My circle also will not help because I cannot go to a coworker. And that's why we've introduced AirLock. What AirLock will do is every time the user is authenticating to the endpoint, we do a device health check. We make sure that what is the status of the device? Does it need to be updated? We provide the appropriate workflow for the user every time they authenticate to ensure that their token does not expire, does not go out of sync, whatever that may be. But even if the user locks themselves out completely, AirLock has a mechanism to self-serve without inheriting any new risk, because the risk is, while we have not identified the person, we cannot let them into their full endpoint or to their desktop. So what AirLock will do is, hence we call it AirLock, will start a very small limited session. All they can do is interact with AirLock to self-service, and then if they can do that, successfully do that, then it gives them access to their full desktop.
Now, Bassam, you said that it's quick and easy, like 42 minutes to onboard a user. How scalable is it? And are you running the Axiad cloud services for IAM? Are you running your unique system on top of other clouds like Rackspace or Microsoft Azure or Google or Amazon? So how scalable, and do you ride on top of other very scalable systems?
Yeah, we didn't want to reinvent the wheel, and we looked at, there was a lot of great cloud provider. We partnered with AWS and we leveraged their services, especially for example, for our US customers. Their data is, we can guarantee that their data stays in the US. It's in AWS East, the backup's in AWS West. At no point in time ever is the data replicated or accessed from outside the United States. For our government customers, we can also reach ITAR for them, so that's very important for us as well to achieve. But as you mentioned, the key to our success with large organizations, with Fortune 500 below, Global 2000, one of the keys to success that we've had is, rather than them embarking on these projects that take a year or two to deploy and manage and maintain, that full platform is up and running in 42 minutes. So your ROI or time to value is pretty instant.
That's incredible. Are you deployed through third-party resellers? Are you partnering as a bolt-on to MSSPs? Is it a direct sale? How do we get a hold of you and start using your services?
Yeah, we have a lot of partners across the United States, for example. So we're very channel friendly and very reseller. So if you want to contact, most likely if you contact your reseller, the partner that you're working with, I'm sure our team has a relationship with them. And if we don't, we'd love to find new partners and new channel partners to work with. We have a lot of great technology partnerships as well. We have a few companies that we work with that we co-sell our solutions together. So that's another avenue as well.
Do you have any videos or ebooks or things online that we can send our viewers and listeners to take a look at?
Absolutely. And also we have a lot of resources on our website. So if you go to our Axiad website under the resource tab, there should be a lot of resources from documentation. We also have our YouTube channel where you can go and see a lot of our videos or webinars. We're very active on webinars as well. So you should see, hopefully you get a chance, your readership would get a chance to view some of these in the future.
Bassam, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers and listeners that we might not have covered yet today?
I think the one item that we typically, when we engage with a lot of our partners and customers, is they don't realize that this is possible. It's been ingrained that you have to get these different point solutions. You have to do it this way. It has to be a mutualized platform. You cannot have your FIDO, your PKI, your authentication, your application, your machine certificates, UPKI, all in a single platform. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we face today, is this category does not exist. We have in each element of our platform, we have a competitor, but we do not have a competitor that does it as a holistic turnkey lockdown platform. So I think the one thing is we hope that people will get the opportunity to just ask questions. Hey, why can't this be done? Why do I have to have all these different point products? Is there a solution that can address all of them? And is there a solution that can address all of them, not in a Big Bang Theory, because that's also bad. Companies have done a tremendous amount of investment on all these different platforms. So what they need is, yes, they need a turnkey platform, but that has to plug in to their existing infrastructure. It has to be able to plug into their existing investment, and over time, slowly but surely, they can migrate whichever service they want to that single platform.
I want to call it plug and play IAM, but you're going to tell me it's a little more. So let's come up with the name. What's the brainstorm? What is it that you do holistically that nobody else does?
I think what if I had to categorize it, we do MFA, PKI, and IAM all in a turnkey platform. And that's the problem. The problem is these are completely three separate things that organizations will go after, but that's what we provide. We provide the infrastructure, the full turnkey MFA, and the IAM all in one single platform.
Okay, so it's going to be the MFA, PKI, IAM, AAS.
You definitely need to come up with a new name for this category. Absolutely.
Sounds great. This is an amazing interview. I love the hot seat. Bassam Al-Khalidi is the co-founder and co-CEO of an amazing company, Axiad. We're going to come up with another acronym. That's how cool this company is. Onboarded in less than 45 minutes, scalable to the biggest companies out there, solving multi-factor auth, PKI, and identity and access management all in one place. Really enjoyed the interview, learn a lot about you, and send our viewers to www.axiad.com.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. And then folks, come back next time for another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV.
Thank you, Gary.